Hey there, and welcome to Geeks with Kids, the bi-weekly geeky podcast from a parenting point of view. I am your host, Eric, and joining me this week on this very special Friday evening stream where we're going to talk about this amazing game, the recently released 16th installment of the Ratchet and Clank franchise, Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart. I don't think it's a Rift Apart, it's just Rift Apart. It was created by Insomniac Games. The latest iteration was released on June 11th, 2021 for the PlayStation 5 and just the PlayStation 5. Just a warning that we are going to touch on story elements and stuff. Nothing too heavy, but we're going to probably hit a couple of light spoilers, especially if we talk about weapons that show up and things that are missing. If you're watching live on Twitch or on YouTube, you'll be able to watch all the shiny video game chaos captured out of my PS5. It's me playing, unfortunately, so you're going to see some bad gameplay.
Falls to death 8 times in a row.
Yeah, I'm watching right now. It's a boss battle right now that's happening on screen, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing bad. I am playing in performance ray tracing mode, and I don't think I have any footage that is from any of the other graphical modes, but we'll talk about them when we get to it. Joining me on this review is Marcus, as always, and let's welcome back Everything is Permitted in Strange New Pods, Brittany Tomes. Also, new to the show and joining us is longtime geek and occasional playwright. Is it occasional playwright if it's one play?
Is it occasional if it was one and it was almost 20 years ago?
It was one occasion.
I still talk. I think I still have a copy of it somewhere in my house.
I just found I thought I'd lost it forever, and I found an old email chain with it in it. So
Yeah, I have it as well.
very happy.
So that mysterious voice is Brent. Normally for new guests, we ask them for their geek cred. What qualifies you as a geek? But since we're doing a review here, and I'm going to ask these guys these questions anyway, I'm going to ask you, Brent, first.
Hey.
Since Ratchet and Clank is a beloved franchise for the PlayStation system, do you remember how you were introduced to the series?
I do. I'm actually late to the game when it comes to Ratchet and Clank. I didn't even get my first PS4 till I think 2017. And I was not into gaming that much before then. But I remembered a lot of the old PS1 games that I loved. And a friend of mine, Marcel, and I would talk about them at work, and our love of Spyro and Crash and Conker's Bad Fur Day, Medieval and whatnot. And he told me, he said, well, have you ever played Ratchet and Clank? I said, no. Came into work the next day, handed me a copy of the PS4 remaster, and just instant love. I think I got through that game in less than 24 hours. I had a PS Now account at the time, jumped on, found all of the old games, sat down, pretty much finished the entire series within a month. Ooh. And I absolutely adore it.
Also, PS Now, damn. You're like one of 2 people I know that has ever used that.
I have it still because I accidentally bought the account, but I still like it.
I was going to say, you almost convinced me to do it right now just to get all the Ratchet and Clank games.
What about you?
I don't know if they...
Oh, sorry.
I don't know if they still have all of them, but I know that they at least have the Future Saga series on there.
Sweet. Nice. Brittany, what about you? How were you introduced to the franchise?
Well, I had the PlayStation 2, obviously, back in the day, like 90% of the world. And I surprisingly didn't play Ratchet and Clank, but my brother did over his best friend's house. We were a Jack and Daxter household, apparently. So I grown up hearing about my brother loving those games, but we never actually played them. And after I was done college, I got a PS4. I was once again late to the game, towards the end of that life cycle. And yeah, I played Ratchet and Clank this past year, but on the PS5. But it was the PS4 remaster. Yeah. So
that was a fun stream to watch.
I'm in love with it. Yeah, it was fun. It was a great stream. I was like, I love this game. Why haven't I played any of these? It's just a franchise I missed out on. And then when I heard this one was happening, I was like, well, I've got to play this because I just played the last, the remaster, and it was awesome.
Fair, for sure. And, you are a Naughty Dog stan, so I'm not surprised that
I am a
Jack and Daxter
Jack and Daxter was my life. Jack and Daxter is why I'm a Naughty Dog stan.
Yes.
What about you, Marcus?
Then The Last of Us happened, and I was like, sold.
I was like, wait, is anyone criticizing Naughty Dog here?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Naughty Dog was in the credits. They said, and special thanks to Naughty Dog.
They can do no wrong.
Naughty Dog is pretty much one of the best companies out there right now.
Naughty Dog is the Christopher Nolan of PS4 series.
So this is Insomniac.
Insomniac is also a good.
Awesome stuff. Oh my god!
What would they be if Christopher Nolan was was Naughty Dog, who would be? I'd have to think of that. Oh, like an
Don't,
Edgar
don't say
Wright.
Kevin Smith.
I was gonna say Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright.
No, Edgar
yeah.
Wright, very fitting. Yes.
It would work with the comedic aspect.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say.
Yes.
Oh, and the editing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
All
I
right.
love Edgar Wright films.
Marcus, how about you? How are you introduced?
I mean, I had PlayStations from the very get-go, like PlayStation 1 all the way to PlayStation 5 now. And while I had a stint with Xbox for a little bit, I pretty much have been a PlayStation person my entire gaming career. So I was also into like the platformings. Like I loved Jack and Daxter. I loved Sly Cooper. I loved like
Yes.
all these games. They were so good. And then I remember when this came out, when the first Ratchet and Clank came out, I was like, oh, that just looks like another fun, cool little platforming game. And I just absolutely, it blew my mind. I loved it. It was so simple, but it was like adorable and amazing and challenging, but fun and crazy. But I do remember, I think in playing on my PS2, I ended up having the Norwalk virus at one time, and I was very, very sick. And this is like just when the whole virus was kind of starting to take hold. So I didn't know about it. I was at home. It was late at night, and I was playing Ratchet and Clank until like 3:30 in the morning. And I remember I was in a level where everything was like spinning around, like you're in outer space, and everything was just like kind of revolving over and over again. And I remember just feeling so unbelievably sick. And I thought it was the game. I thought the game was making me sick. I'm like, oh, why would you betray me? Oh. But it was the Norwalk virus, and yeah, I got that out of my system. It was terrible, but yeah, I still love the game.
Yeah.
For that, Ratchet and Clank will actually cure you of disease.
It will. Yes.
Let it be known, audience.
We should put that on the
Now-
on the next box.
COVID disclaimer.
When you started
could-
playing
you could
this,
still get vaccinated, but play
when you
Ratchet
started
and Clank.
playing Rift Apart, did you start getting a little tickle in your throat, like little PTSD?
You know what? Actually, the moments when you're, I think, Rivet, and you're in that when you're, I don't, we
like
have to
space
go
walking.
a spacewalking kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh no, oh no.
Thank God there's no disease going around right now.
Oh my God. On our Twitch, Marcy Davidiot said that was me. I'm not sure which comment she's saying that to. And Turf Burner 45 says hi, Brent.
Marcy Davidia, that would be the Marcel that I mentioned earlier, who
Oh.
turned me on to Ratchet and Clank.
Nice.
Right on.
Yeah, for me, let's see. What did I do? I played one of the last ones on PS3. I had a PS2 in my household. I was in university at the time, but it wasn't mine. So the only time I could get it was to steal it for Final Fantasy X. And I was like, this is my time.
I was gonna say Final Fantasy X was like probably the game I played the most.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
PS2.
Blitzball and all of that fun. But then my nephew was born in 2010. So when he was like 5 or 6, the PS4 version came out, and he was super excited for the movie. So I was like, well, shit, I got to get this game, play it. And I just like, oh my God, that game was so good. Like I had played that one from the PS3 one, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'm paying no mind. But the PS4 one just blew me away. Like just perfect. It was like you were playing a movie. And speaking of that, this is pretty much the same thing, especially since there's no time to pause. So let's go into a little bit of the history and the story. We'll talk about the story points. So this is an action platformer and a third-person shooter, which, as I said earlier, was created by Insomniac Games, who also created Spyro the Dragon, which I also love, the Resistance Fall of Man games, and the Spider-Man Miles Morales games, which,
So good.
damn, so good.
So good.
And the first game in the Ratchet and Clank franchise was released in 2002, so almost 20 years ago. Wow, that's
Dang.
crazy.
That's
These, right? These games follow the adventures of a Lombax named Ratchet and a defective robot named Clank, alongside many of their friends like Captain Quark, Rusty Pete, etc., etc. In this most recent game, Rift Apart, our heroes traverse across different worlds and multiple realities to stop their arch enemy, Dr. Nefarious, from exploiting a catastrophic dimensional collapse caused by a malfunctioning dimensionator. I should have put commas and periods in this. To finally achieve his dream of completely eradicating organic life in all universes. Along the way, they meet another Lombax named Rivet and an apprentice robot named Kit. Without going into heavy spoilers, what did you guys think of the story of Rift Apart? Go, Britt.
I loved the story, and multiple times while playing the game and streaming it out loud, whether or not people were watching me stream or not, I even said, wow, the story is so good in this game. And I was like, who wrote this? Who worked on it? in the credits I saw, and I was like, that's why it's good. It was like Mary Kenny wrote it, and I was like, oh, this is why.
Yep.
But there was so like they handle a lot of like deeper themes, and I know this is like an E for everyone game, you know, like 10 and up. So we as adults, you know, we like certain elements of games, and then like you still want to be able to like, can I play this in front of my kids? Could they play it? Could they enjoy it? And it's one of those things where you're like, wow, like this is really well done. Like you feel for these characters, and like this is the first time you're seeing Rivet and Kit, and you love them just as much as Ratchet and Clank, who you might have played all their games this far, and you're just like, I feel so compelled to love these characters too, like every character. even
This was
backgrounds.
this was the closest thing to playing a Pixar movie I've ever experienced. Where it's,
Exactly.
you know, it's visual style and the gameplay is like it's geared towards kids, but when you actually like follow the storyline and see the themes that they're throwing out there, like it's very much an adult game as well. Like it's meant for everyone. Like
hmm
It's so heartwarming. Like, I was playing this game with my eldest, my 6-year-old, and she was like loving it, laughing. But there are times where they're talking about how insecurities, like they're going through their insecurities and how people have, they're different because they don't necessarily have the same parts or are a little bit different than a regular person. And they're like, that's okay. And you know what? That doesn't mean you're broken. I'm sitting there, I was like,
Yeah,
don't
right.
cry.
I was like,
Don't
I was like,
cry.
don't cry, Brittany. Don't cry. This is a kid's game.
But like,
I let them flow. I don't care.
yeah.
No shame.
Sorry,
Bless.
Marcus, you were saying?
I kind of mirroring everything that you guys said. Like I loved the storyline. I was so there for it. Like right off the bat, I was like, oh, this is kind of quirky. It's kind of fun. And then as soon as like Rivet started getting in there and Kit, I loved Kit.
Kit.
Immediately loved Kit. And I was just so there for it. And I just knew that there was going to be this beautiful meshing of the stories. And I'd be like, I can't wait for this.
Mhm.
And it's so well executed. So well. Like, oh, love it.
There's a big main story where this has been happening in the whole franchise where Ratchet feels alone because he's the last Lombax, at least in his dimension, and he finally meets up with Rivet. And in this beautiful moment, what did you think of them meeting for the first time?
Oh my god. I loved the meeting. I liked how you had those parallel moments before they met, like when they first communicate with each other and they say the same things at the same time, and the camera splits and you see them both do the same thing as they're sitting down, and you realize like, oh, this is the same person basically, but between two different dimensions. I also liked that element because when you first saw things for the game, you were like, there's going to be a female Lombax and him, like, is this going to be a love interest? Like, what sort of thing are they going to do? But I really liked the way they did it, and it's all about like finding that found family and the fact that they're both looking for the other Lombaxes because they're like, well, I'm the last one in my dimension. I'm the last one in mine. I was just like, oh, this is so brilliant. I like that they're
Sorry, go ahead.
good.
No, but I love too the way that the game's set up where you get to play as Rivet for a little while first and you get to know all the characters before they meet. So it's not even so much like oh my god, Ratchet finally met another Lombax. You're at the same time going, Rivet found another one too. Like
Exactly.
you're excited for both of them. Like this game's just so well crafted, that character, like, and introduced us to new characters in an ongoing series. Like we've known them our whole lives. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
On our Twitch, Turfburner45 says it's Chris actually. So Brent, I don't know if you know Chris.
I'm aware he's one of my gaming buddies.
Nice. And Marcy says this is torture for us without a PS5. I feel you.
No.
I feel
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
Because that-
I'm so
like,
sorry.
I get why they only did this for PS5 because like it's gorgeous.
There's no
It's-
way.
Visually,
done.
this
Oh my god.
Yeah, it would
It's-
break
it-
a PS4. Like
It would
I was
break a
surprised when I
PC.
played. I was surprised when I played like Ghost of Tsushima and and Last of Us Part 2, and I was like, how is my PS4 running to keep up with this? And then this game happened, and I was just like, this is
Your PS4
This
would
is
look at
made
it
for
and it would
PS5.
explode. That's what
Right?
would happen.
so mine started to do with Ghost of Tsushima, and I was like, okay, I get it. I'm getting a PS5.
I can't wait till we talk about the actual mechanics of this game because
Oh yes.
this game is magic. And I think I said that when I first loaded it. I think I messaged everyone I knew and I was like, this game is magic. I don't know how this is possible.
The way you phrased it to me, and I couldn't agree with you more, is when you said this is the first real PS5 game.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
is 100%
Oh, yeah.
the first next generation game.
Yeah.
And you feel
And
that.
I couldn't agree more. Like it was unbelievable.
Oh, I'm getting
experience.
goosebumps just thinking about it because I want to play it again. So what did we think of the new characters of Rivet and Kid? We touched upon them, but we haven't really gone into them.
I will go and I will be the one antithesis here to say that I was not a big fan of Kit. Not at the beginning, not at first. I'm not going to spoil everything, but I do love the story arc that Kit goes through, and the backstory that's eventually developed between Rivet and Kit. But at first, no, I kind of found Kit to be an annoying little emo robot who's just very whiny, and it was. It was not what I wanted to see as the mirror image of Clank, as the alternate dimension version of Clank.
You wanted a murder
I grew,
Yeah.
I grew to love Kit.
Okay,
but as the story progressed, I grew to love Kit.
Okay.
Like she was a little too insecure for you.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
And we've done
That's
the
understandable.
reluctant hero so much, so I can see.
Yeah. See, I loved Kit. Kit kind of reminded me of like what you would have gotten if the Iron Giant was a little bit more self-aware.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's kind of how I was there, and like I loved Kit.
And then we get a giant Iron Giant later.
I know that part. Still, I think my favorite sequence.
Yeah, well, mine.
Oh my god.
We'll talk about mine in a bit. I never got to tell you about it, Brittany. I wasn't on the stream when you went through the planet.
Are we going to talk about our love for Rivet? Because I just want to say, I love her. I'm here for it. I hope she's in more games. And I love that she is more bold, like, as opposed to Ratchet. Like, they didn't make them the exact same kind of character, and she's a little more impulsive, but because she, like, has to be to survive. You know what I mean?
Especially growing up in that world.
So I thought that's compelling.
If there's not some kind of, like, Rivet spin-off game like Miles Morales, I will be absolutely shocked.
I don't think they're going to separate these two anymore. I feel like these two are just going
to... I could see them keeping them together for the main series, but I could also see them doing some kind of like a Miles Morales offshoot of like a 4-hour DLC kind of thing with Rivet.
Speaking of Miles Morales...
Maybe going back into more backstory for that.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
Speaking of Miles Morales, they did that game and this game in less than a year, like release window. That's crazy, Insomniac.
Yeah, there's some witchcraft involved.
And didn't they do this with no crunch, this one?
Yeah, Insomniac doesn't do crunch, I don't believe.
Yeah.
They're one of those companies, the good ones.
Yeah, so you're just like, look at how this game is gorgeous, didn't need crunch.
No loading times.
You're not killing your employees, so there you go. This is what can happen when you don't kill your employees.
Exactly, you get you get this beautiful...
You get magic.
Masterpiece. I will say masterpiece, because I think it is.
This love for gaming.
We also got alternate versions of the characters we grew up with. What did you think of meeting each of those without spoiling those meetings?
Okay, I was so excited through the entire game as you started meeting all the alternate dimensions, because my absolute favorite character in the series is Commander Quark, hands down. And so I was so excited to like, oh my god, what is his alternate dimension gonna be? That was my biggest letdown of the game.
No, I loved him. I thought the costume, the one you meet him in, was hilarious.
The circumstances of meeting him, yes, but the character itself, I was just kind of like, oh, I wanted something that was
to know them, right?
Yeah, Quark isn't in the game much. This character isn't in the game much. That's because it's more of they want to try to introduce alternate versions of as many characters as possible. So that's my one pitfalls. I would have liked more Quark and more of a difference between the two of them. I found them too similar.
I preferred the alternate version to Quark. So when it happened, I was just like, oh my god, can we keep him around? This is amazing.
I'm a Quark stan all day long.
That's okay.
The alternate Rusty Pete.
I love Rusty Pete. I love Rusty Pete.
Oh
Pierre, I can't say it.
Yeah, Pierre Le something.
I don't want to spoil it. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just realized I was gonna say it. I was like, nope.
It's so hard to like talk about this without like just blurting out
everything.
I know, because you want to like gush about all these awesome moments.
And it's mostly because I want people to experience them. And this game is like good enough that you don't want to spoil these things. But one thing we will spoil is that there is two Nefariouses in this game: a Emperor Nefarious and a Doctor Nefarious, and they get to play off each other. Actually, you can see it in the gameplay right now.
Nice. Look at that.
Oh man, this is later in the game. Anyway, I love their sort of rapport against each other and how Emperor Nefarious was built up more and he was bigger and more like sort of imposing, but Dr. Nefarious
kind of competent.
Yeah.
I kind of equated the two. I equated the two of them playing this game as like, this is like the Vader Palpatine relationship if this was Spaceballs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very accurate.
That's
That's
a good.
like-
That's a good. Yeah.
The best explanation without spoiling the game. Yeah.
I love their dialogue, and the fact that they were sort of at each other's throats whenever they were together, I thought was great. And I think going into sort of this end part of this story, or at least talking about the stories, I don't think, like we said earlier, that this story could have happened on any other system, just because of how the game mechanics, going through all the rifts, work.
Well, even just like load times. There are no load times. It's
Yeah.
just it was you can't. There's no way that would be able to be possible on a PS4 or something. Like it was so smooth.
It was like
I-
watching a movie, but that you could control.
I legitimately
Yeah,
thought,
I
how
thought
are they
that's
going to
lame.
do? How are they going to do no load time? I thought every time you switch between a rift, there was going to be like a little bit of a lull, and you'd see them flying around and everything. It's not. It's just literally instantaneous every time. Whole new world. I'm like, how are they doing this?
It was
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first time you open up a miniature rift and you just load up a whole new level inside of another level, I'm just sitting there, it's like, what? Because you could walk
Yeah.
behind that, and
Yeah.
it's not that level. I didn't understand it. It blows my mind. So let's talk about. I know in the outline I said we are doing graphics and sounds first, but let's go into the gameplay. This is a third
Yes.
person
Yes.
shooter, and then there's platforming elements. What did you think of the gameplay? Did it feel in line with the previous games? How did you
Honestly, I was able to just go right into it. Like I haven't played a
Mhm.
Ratchet and Clank game for a long time, and then it instantly came back to me. There's some nice like new little nuances. The haptic feedback. Oh
Mhm.
man,
So
it
good.
like, for anybody
I-
who doesn't have a PS5 yet, I'm so sorry, but the haptic feedback on a controller is one of the greatest things that you can have
Oh,
on your
man.
PS5. And this game takes such a great opportunity for using that. Like every step you take, you feel it in the controller, and you can feel like where it's coming from, and it's one of the coolest things. Like it's nice to finally see it being used.
Mhm.
The best thing when I got my PS5 the first time was sitting down and playing Astro's Playroom,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
and
Oh my god.
discovering what the controller can do, like what this new console's capabilities are, and then sitting down and playing this game, and all I can say is Astro's Playroom is checkers and this game is chess.
Yes.
That's
like,
how
it's
I feel
just
about it as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I remember when I
The-
first played Miles Morales, and I thought it was amazing that just you can feel the tension of the web as you're swinging
Yep.
in the controller, and you knew
Yeah.
exactly what moment to let it go to do the highest flips, like how to do it the fastest. Like you could feel it in the controller. And then this game was a complete other level. Every weapon feels different. Like the ship's landing, moving, gliding around on your like little
The
hover
jet
boots.
boots.
It's,
Yeah.
oh, you go fast on the jet boots, and I'm
I-
like, ah!
I also just love the two-stage weapon things, like with the trigger, like you halfway the trigger, full trigger, like that
Yep.
kind of thing was so unbelievably
I
cool.
hate that so much. I hate that
Yeah, I
trigger.
hold it straight down. I'm just like, just
I got so
blasting.
good at it, especially with the shield weapon. Like,
Ah.
oh, I got so good.
The shield weapon is my worst.
that
Oh.
was my worst too.
This-
It's
I couldn't
honestly,
figure it out.
if you learn how to do it, like it's such a
I'm-
good weapon. Oh,
I'm with you. I hated it until I had to level it up to 5 for the platinum.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with it when I realized just how powerful it was. Especially
Yeah.
like that became one of my favorite weapons.
It
of the
was my
game.
last trophy for my platinum, and it made me so angry. And as soon as I finished, I was like, "Turn off my PlayStation."
You're like, I'm never
done.
touching this trigger again. I
um,
love it.
I will say that this gameplay is actually it's so good, like enough that my kid, my 6-year-old, was able to play the first couple levels without it being too hard. Like the difficulty ramps up, obviously, like every single Ratchet game, but it's enough that she played and she loved it. When it got harder, she just wanted to watch because the gameplay and the story was still good enough that she just wanted to sit there and be like, "This is a fun show. Let's
She's like,
have
Dad,
a
play
girl
the
hero."
movie? Eating popcorn.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. We talked about no load times, but I don't think we gave it
Oh.
enough justice.
Hold on.
Yeah.
But can we just talk about rifting for a moment?
Oh yeah.
There wasn't a single time in the game that I rifted that I didn't go, like I
I
still
told
at the
you.
end of
I
the
told
game-
you.
Still at the end of the game, like it didn't. I felt so like weird. I was streaming it and I kept being like, guys, you don't understand. If you're playing the game, you'll understand. But like, even by the end, I was still rifting to like, fight all the bosses, do all these other things, even if it's just to maneuver around. And you just get so excited. You're like, I feel like there should be a rift. Where's the rift? And then it happens,
Yeah.
and you're just like it's so rewarding, especially during battle when you're like getting
Oh.
overwhelmed by enemies.
when you
and you whip around and you're just like,
I love it.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
can curse right now.
Yeah, you
But
can.
you're just like, okay.
We
You're
have the
just like,
rating.
that's right, motherfucker. I riffed it. And then you're just like, bah, 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 bah.
Those multi-stage boss battles where
Oh
you go
my
through different
God,
riffs
yes.
and you're just like, oh my god, yes, I'm a magician, and I
The
will.
robot part alone was like,
I-
if you break it down, it's so basic, right?
Mhm.
It's like rail grinding, wall running, rifting, right? And the premise seems so simple.
It's
Gorgeous. Amazing.
I know the exact part you're talking about, and
so
Eric and I
good.
had this discussion off stream where like that brought me back to the first time playing Uncharted.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
the like feeling an action sequence like I'm in a movie, and it's like the
Mhm.
first time in a long time where like I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, like just like staring at the screen, like, oh my god, this is incredible! Like I can't believe like.
And then you get
And,
lost
like, you're
in the
so-
screen, and you're like, oh, I was
Exactly.
supposed to do something. I forgot.
But like
Yeah.
I'm so intently like I don't want to make a mistake this
Yeah.
whole time. I want to get
Yeah.
through this
Or
flawlessly.
she's like, the rail's gone. And you're like, wait, she said what? You just drop straight down.
Oh my god, it gives me so much like hope for what Naughty Dog does next. Like if they do an Uncharted game, I'm just gonna be like, it'll be another movie. It'll be like, I don't know how they could top Uncharted 4 because I think that's their best Uncharted game, maybe 2. But oh man, the stuff that these companies do with PS5s, like this is super utilizing the hardware perfectly. Like not only that, like let's talk about the sound design, because they did a home theater mix, they also did a TV mix, and then they did the Pulse Audio. Like Brent's wearing the Pulse Audio headset. Did you guys get to try out the 3D headset feature?
I don't have
pretty
one of
much
those, so I couldn't.
I pretty much play exclusively with the headset on.
Yeah.
For almost all my games, so yes.
It's
Not for this game specifically. Like there's no option for me other than with the Pulse 3Ds. Like this game has to be played with the 3D surround.
When you hear that sound coming from behind you, it's the coolest thing. Or hearing something whiz past you,
Feeling
and
like
you're just like, holy shit! Like it's
and
incredible.
like that too, mixed with like the haptics, where like when you hear an enemy behind you, and then you almost feel the haptic controller of like someone walking up behind you and everything. Like the mixture of it is just I can't describe
Like,
it. Like just how unreal it is.
I'm sure that it's going to get even better. Like because it wasn't perfect. There are flaws in the system itself, but nothing that you could actually complain about. Like it's just you just know that it's probably going to get better from this point, and
Exactly.
I
my God.
can't wait.
Yeah.
Like
I only had minor frustrations at like some things, but overall, like I was just like, that was just one part of the game, and then I just move on because it's
Yeah.
too good.
The first time
Yeah.
I really noticed the 3D audio was when you're trying to find the club at the beginning of the game.
Oh,
And you're,
Yes,
you're just
yes.
spinning around and you're just like,
Mhm.
you can perfectly hear it in space with the headset. You can hear it in the in surround sound as well, but it seemed more accurate with the headset, which I don't understand. Again, magic, Insomniac.
yes, magic is just magic.
Yeah, I loved
Sorcery.
it. What was also great was I also played in surround sound. I was playing with my kid, so she could listen to it. But they would also use the audio from the controllers perfectly so that you could hear things coming towards you. I don't know how to really.
like people walking by and talking, or you're passing people that are
Yeah,
talking.
and then
things like
weapons
that,
would
yeah.
also go through your
Yeah.
your
Oh yeah,
controller, and I was just like, what is
I-
going
that
on?
click sound.
Yeah.
The one on the 3D audio that blew me away the most was probably the bar. When you're walking around there
Oh,
and
I
you
love
can
the
literally hear every conversation going on around you, like in every direction, and you
yeah,
can hear them
that's
all
true.
individually. You can point them all out, and
I have this issue where because of my random musical training, I can hear like random things all around me, and I have to focus, or I'm gonna listen to everything. I have like
So
me and Megan have
you're
talked-
Superman.
Yeah, no, I get it. It happens.
That's Superman hearing.
I
Is
wish.
what you're describing.
I wish, but like sometimes Megan will be me and Meg will be at a bar.
take the glasses off.
yeah.
No, I can't do that. My hair will
He's
curl.
like, I can't. Right?
But we'll be at a bar and Megan will be like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm listening to that conversation over there."
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm listening." Yeah, it's fun. It's random, but like having that bar scene really made me feel like I was there in real life, because I'd be like, "Oh God, I'm focusing on the wrong thing right now."
I kept wanting to stop and like focus on people's like discussion stuff. I'm like, why is this Mort eating with this other guy? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Why is
Really
Mr. Fungus hanging
living
out
there.
over here?
Right?
Oh,
I
Mr.
love
Fungus.
that bar. I don't even drink alcohol in real life. And I still was like, I wish this bar was a real place because I would go here all the time. This looks amazing.
Hmm. Let's see. What did you think of the different planets? I know there are a number of them. We don't have to go through all of them, but like just in general, there are a lot of different planets, different locales.
Like if I, when okay, this is going to be a terrible example, but No Man's Sky, you went
Mhm.
to thousands of different planets if you want to, but they all felt the
Felt the
same.
same. Yes.
Mm.
This game is the
Yeah,
opposite, right?
opposite, so opposite. Like
So
you
unique.
very, I loved it. Like just the fact that it's a platforming game. You think to yourself, okay, it's all going to be kind of the
Yeah.
same.
It's gonna be like
couple
8 different level designs.
yeah, different textures, and it'll be fine. No, this is like so different, so vastly different. And then you add the rifts in there, and like
Mhm.
shortcut to here to there. Like it's just so amazing.
And
And
the
the
not-
creatures,
dimension planets, when you could
Yeah.
actually use the dimension to travel in certain planets, you were just like, this is
oh yeah,
incredible.
super awesome. Yeah,
And like not even
Love
just like visually the style of the planets varying and like the creatures on them varying, but like every single planet had its own mechanic for you to learn
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
that was
Yeah.
like required for navigating through it. Like, and I love that. Even like once you get to the end of it and you're on like the 8th, 9th, 10th planet, you're still learning something new.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Just the mesa, like it felt almost like it was an open world part of the game. And you know it's not. You're like, I know this level is only so big, but you're just like,
Mhm.
I can speed up these jet boots and just go
Yeah.
around this. I could be here for hours. I don't even care. I might have collected
Oh.
everything already. I just want to do like sick flips. I want to
What-
jump off of things.
Once I got those jet boots, it was on.
Yeah.
Like that,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was just it for me the rest of the
It's
game.
all
I
I did the
stopped
rest of the game.
walking at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I forgot how to Phantom
walks?
Dash. That's how excited I was about the boots.
Yeah. Oh my God, Phantom
Right?
Dash.
Right?
I
Phantom Dash.
Phantom Dash was awesome when it first got there, but then as soon as
Right?
those boots got there, what's
I
Phantom
was like, why
Dash?
Phantom
I
Dash?
got to-
Just zip.
I got to the point where I got stuck at one point in the game because I was like, there's this door with like a blue thing, and I'm like, how am I
Right?
supposed to, how do I get through? And I'm wandering all over the place and realizing, oh yeah, it's the thing I don't use anymore. Like,
The Phantom Dash.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I remember during like the final boss battle that like because I kept getting hit by something I should have easily dodged. I'm like, but my boots, and I was like, Phantom Dash. I was like, no wonder. Yeah, your boots, you can only go side to side in this part of the level. You can't really
Yeah.
dodge. So I was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
That's amazing. Any favorite sequences we can go into without spoiling? I'll go first.
go ahead.
Mine is, without spoiling it, it's a small world.
Yes.
Which when it happened,
That's-
I died.
That's good. That's a good. That's good, man.
That's
I
the
like that.
only way to explain that part. Oh my god,
Anybody who plays this game after watching this, you will understand immediately.
it's so good.
That's awesome.
Oh my
um,
god.
Anyone else?
mine I touched on it already. Is like without spoiling it, the rail ride in that one.
That's fair.
I don't want to name the character for spoilers purposes,
I think
but
I already
that one
did.
specific
Yeah.
the fixer rail level
Yeah,
was
that,
just like that's the best gaming experience
Yeah.
I've ever had.
that was literally like
Oh.
chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like a smaller like other moments that I really enjoyed. There were so many.
I was mad I could hit it on the first try because I wanted to do it again.
I liked the water level. The fact that there was that twist.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, like you knew
Mhm.
it was coming, but it was also just nice because you're so used to like, you know, platformer, you're gonna do this, you're gonna get this, you're gonna learn something new, and then you're gonna fight a big bad. Like that sort of thing over and over again. And then
Yeah,
this was
yeah.
like the right after the big set piece of like the robot previously, then it
Mhm.
was interesting.
Mhm.
So I was like,
I enjoyed the racing and gaining up speed while jumping through multiple rifts after rift after rift after rift after rift.
yes.
Mhm.
Like that kind of thing is just like it feels like what's the
Oh my god.
that's
Are you,
like
are you talking about hail on a snail? Because the
Yes.
first time I got on a snail in the game, I was like, oh my god, I'm Jennifer Hale
On a snail.
as Rivet on a snail. I was like, I'm Hale on a snail. Let's go. This is
Like that-
incredible.
I should have clipped that
that
on your
shit is
stream.
so much fun.
Oh,
That is so much fun.
so
It's the only
good.
way I'll refer to that. Even
Hale
though
on a
I was
snail.
playing as Ratchet, and I was like, his name doesn't work, but Hale on a
Yeah.
snail. We'll have Hale to pay.
So let's go into the sounds and graphics. We're good with story and gameplay. Yes, graphics
Yeah.
and sounds. So Rift Apart is the first of the series to debut on the PS5, and hell yes, does it utilize its
Yes.
hardware. There were 3 graphic modes for the game. There were Fidelity, Performance, and Performance Ray Tracing. Performance Ray Tracing is the default. Fidelity mode is the highest quality mode with a native 4K and ray tracing, but it runs at a slower 30 FPS. Performance mode would be the highest quality for playing. It ran the smoothest at 60 FPS, pretty much constant, with some lower resolutions, generally around 1800p. Performance ray tracing was sort of the in-between of both of them. You'd get 60 FPS, but you'd also get some ray tracing elements as well. But that would mean the resolution came down a bit. It was generally around 1440p. What were your game modes that you picked? I personally, as you can see on the stream, did performance ray tracing, and I think it is probably the best. What'd you guys do?
I did performance ray tracing as well, and I just wanted to make sure that everything ran perfectly, and I wasn't disappointed. Like, everything worked great. Still looked absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the game looked beautiful. So I have no regrets there. I do want to try the fidelity at some point.
I'll talk about that in a second. Brittany,
I did play on the fidelity mode.
you played the whole thing in
yeah.
Fidelity?
Not the whole thing. I played half fidelity and then I switched to performance ray tracing
And then you never went
partway
back?
through. Pretty much.
Yeah.
No, I like the fidelity mode for the most part of the game and everything. I think that it was probably my favorite for all the high action sequences. Because I kind of felt like in the arena battles, especially the ones where you're getting swarmed by about 50, 60 enemies at a time, I found the performance mode was a little sluggish for me.
Really?
Yeah,
It should be
I found it a little bit. I don't know what it is about it. Like, I don't know if it was like struggling with the 60 FPS, but I
Maybe
did find
had
it to be a little
performance
bit.
anxiety.
Could be. I figure it might have also just been like an issue, within a new game that's going to have bugs in it and stuff like that. But for the most part, I found the fidelity mode was like the strongest for me through the majority of the game.
Interesting. What about you, Brittany?
I'll say that I have no clue what mode I did because I just pressed start.
Default is performance ray tracing.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
had performance ray tracing, and it was, I mean, the game is gorgeous, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I every time I would hop to a new location or a new planet, sometimes I would go to start, like, move on with the story, but sometimes I'd just turn around and be like, look at this. Like, I want to just sit in photo mode for like 5 hours, but people aren't going to want to watch me stream that.
I
you
would
know?
watch you
Yeah.
stream that.
Well, it's
When
true,
I was
people-
doing Ghost of Tsushima, I would jump into photo mode for such a long time, and people would be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm making the perfect photo for my Instagram."
No. Yes.
Dude, I loved
Yes.
loved your Instagram. Your Ghost of Tsushima Instagram was
I was going to say
amazing.
that was
loved
one of
it.
my favorite Instagram accounts ever.
Yeah, I should
Yeah.
do it again. Maybe I'll just change it to more video game because I think
Yeah, you should just call it like
Just-
some photo mode.
Yeah, photo mode.
I could just
Yeah.
call photo mode. I definitely spent a lot of time with photo mode in this game because I
I'll
love
send
photo
you all
modes
my
in
Last
general.
of Us ones because I have a
Yes.
problem.
Yes. No, you don't. I think that's a good problem
mean-
to have. I played performance ray tracing and the highest quality fidelity in the challenge mode afterwards. I think performance ray tracing and fidelity are pretty much identical. I couldn't really tell the difference. It was a little bit higher quality visually for fidelity, but the 30 FPS, like once you hit 60 FPS and you play that
You
way,
can't go back. You
like
can't do
30,
it.
you're just like, oh, why is it so different?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I can't do this. And even Megan, when she was watching me play, she was like, you don't seem to be enjoying this as much as you normally are.
It's like when you go back and watch a movie where they throw in one of those scenes where it's like a knife flies past them, and you're like, oh, because they filmed this in 3D back,
Oh,
when
yeah.
everybody was wearing 3D glasses in the movies, and you're just like, I hate it. You're like, we've passed that now. It's great.
Yeah, we talked about the sound design, so we already sort of went into that. Man, we've gone
it
through.
sounds amazing. It looks
This-
amazing. Like we're all gushing about it, guys. Just go. I don't
Yeah.
care who you have to kill for a PS. Actually, I do. Disclaimer.
Yeah, don't
Sony
kill
probably
people.
knows.
Don't
they're
kill.
watching.
Don't kill.
anybody. Don't kill anybody for a PS5. But if you can get it, make sure this is the first game you get for a PS5. Like,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, were there any like downsides? I know no game is perfect. Let's just say that. Although there's close. Were there any issues you guys had while playing the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had one.
Go ahead. Brittany, go ahead.
So I played this game across the last 3 days, like whenever I could when I wasn't working. And the first day and then today, you know, I didn't have any issues, but day number 2, for some reason, the game crashed on me like 3 times in a row over the course of like an hour. And I was streaming, so I had to keep breaking it into segments, you know. And at first I was like, did my internet go out? Like, what's going on? So I don't really know for sure. I think the game was probably just mad that I fell to my death for no reason. Because it did happen one time after I had it one of those stupid deaths, and I think it was just like, seriously?
Yeah.
An enemy wasn't even firing at you. You just jumped and fell off of something.
We pressed F for you in the chat.
Yeah, I saw it when I would come back. I would see the previous like chat when I was switching over my Twitch to the new stream, and it would be like F in the chat for Brittany. She disappeared. So that was a bit of an issue. I only ran into a few small things in the game where like I saw some like floating sticks in Sargosa, and I was like, ooh, let's go investigate, which I probably shouldn't have. But I really thought you'd be able to climb up those dinosaurs like Horizon Zero Dawn style. I was wrong. You cannot. But I got stuck, and it was just like a weird like wall in the top, and it was like all invisible. So I was like, was this a building at one point? And I just once again got stuck and then fell to my death.
Nice.
So don't go exploring when you see stuff floating in the air randomly.
I think that's a good life lesson in general. Marcus, you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, I loved so much about this game that I think the only thing that I loved a lot of the mini games that they put into this.
We didn't talk about
the
them,
one the one that I just didn't love was Clank's little thing, like you know, with
Hit the balls?
the puzzle,
The lemmings.
That's actually very accurate. Lemmings.
yeah, it's just it was fine for the first 2, and then you're just like, okay, I don't. It's kind of like when I played the old Assassin's Creed games, and it's like, this is a follow mission where you have to listen to somebody from afar. I'm like, oh fuck.
Oh no, I
not
wouldn't
this
put it
shit
that
again.
bad. No.
No, it's not. It's not. No. It is definitely not that bad.
It just got
but
to
I
the
mean,
point where you were tired of it.
in the realm of this amazing game with so much to offer, I was just like, okay, I'm already done with this. I am so done with this kind of level. But it wasn't bad. It's not like it was terrible. But out of everything, I think that was the thing I disliked the most. But I mean, really, it's not even that bad.
Well,
you know
see,
what made me like those parts?
Yeah.
It reminded me of Final Fantasy X when you go to the various temples, like, you know, like Macalania Temple and stuff.
Yes.
You have to change out the spheres to do things, right? In my mind,
Yeah.
I was like, Brittany, change out the correct spheres so you can get to the end and you can get that Aeon.
Yeah.
There was never an Aeon at the end.
But that's all it. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, this is annoying. I got to do it. All right, I can
Had to
deal
do
with it.
to 'em.
I like that. The mini game that I eventually kind of started getting a little tired of was the pocket riffs, actually.
Oh.
Because the first
love
few,
those.
they're great because like you're learning new mechanics and stuff. I just found that by the time you get to like the 8th or 9th one, it's just a lot of it was just redoing the same thing over and over and over
That's fair.
again.
That's
And,
true.
like at least they're all very quick.
But you got
So
some
it's
cool
like-
outfits and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love the armor.
The outfits were so good. I
Although-
started,
The armor is so good.
Does the
So
armor
cool.
have pockets in it? Because then technically you got pockets from a pocket dimension. I think they
I
do.
think
They
we've
were
just been
all-
pocketceptioned.
right? A pocket within a pocket within a pocket.
Brett, did you have any issues other than that?
The
Yeah.
only other issue that I had is, and like I have a feeling I might get some groans on this one, but
I know what you're
the
talking
weapons in the game.
Oh.
Okay. I
on.
found that unlike other games, I don't know if there was more of them in this game than in some of the others, but I
3
just found that
pages of games. of
there was
weapons.
too many ones that were just too similar to other ones. Like there wasn't a large variety, and I found that by the end of the game, I really was just using about 4 or 5 of
Yeah,
them
like the same
on
5.
standard, and the rest was like I only used them because I ran out of ammo for everything else.
Wait, let me guess. Mr. Fungi?
Yes.
Topiary?
No. No,
What?
I prefer I like the
I didn't
freeze
like the
better than Topiary.
Okay, that's fair. I like freeze as well.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all control.
I really loved lightning.
Warmonger?
Like
I like lightning later on in the
I-
game.
lightning,
really
if
like-
you
Got
upgrade
better
it. If you upgrade lightning so that you get like huge chain reactions, it's
Mhm.
fantastic.
Lightning was the standard, and like I wanted to switch to buzzsaws, and they just didn't have the same effect because I
Yeah.
liked how the lightning stunned them
Lightning
as well.
was
Yeah,
better than
buzzsaws were
Buzzsaw.
better last game.
Mm.
Yeah, they're more
Yeah.
powerful last game, I think.
I did a lot of weapons where it was like throw this shit down so that they can all attack people, and then I'd be
exactly.
like
I would
running
control-
around doing stuff.
I would even use like the Doom glove just to be like, send
Yeah.
out my base troops, and then
Yeah.
I would get back
I
and be
did
like,
that
now
too.
let's cycle through my weapons.
And- And then you rocket boot around. You just rocket
Right?
boot around, and you're just like, ah.
Well, sometimes it was great because you know that your ground troops can handle everything. I'm like, I let out fungi, topiary, and my little like Doom bots.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna zip around and hit every single crate and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
raritanium around like this area. And if I get back and enemies are still alive, then I'm gonna whop them.
Exactly. We didn't talk about one of my favorite new characters, and I can't believe I missed her. Glitch.
Glitch?
Right here.
Yeah, Glitch.
Yeah.
I was
Glitch.
just gonna say, Glitch was actually. I loved Glitch. I loved her missions. I loved her. It was.
Mhm.
I
It
loved
was
her
fun.
personality.
There
Yeah,
was
she actually had a personality. That was the thing that was surprised me.
Yeah. She was so gung ho, and she knew.
mhm.
She
Yeah.
knew.
There was a little bit that last level for her. It was a little confusing, like to navigate. There was
You
a
had
lot
to
of upside
flip a
down,
lot.
and then
There was
Oh,
some
yeah.
obscenities. Some obscenities came out of my mouth on that last one. Like, where's this goddamn last thing you need to stand on? Like,
I know.
Yeah. The
So-
worst is when you flip upside down and then you start walking and you're like, yeah, I'm definitely going this way. And then you realize you went all the way back to the
yeah,
beginning.
you look and you're like, oh, I'm at the starting line again.
for
No.
sure.
Yep.
I think for issues with the game, I only had one real thing, and I think it happened before. So we were given a code for the game by Sony Canada to review. Thank you, Sony Canada, for that. And like I had a weird after playing it for 4 or 5 hours. I don't know. I would get random black spots, like big sections of the.
Oh, you just need sleep.
No, I'm pretty. That's fair.
I mean,
it was really.
he's trying to be a real Insomniac.
Yes,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, booyah.
There was a level where whenever I saw the face of Rivet, her mask was like black, and I'd be like, "That's weird." I'm pretty sure I didn't put on that helmet, and then I'd switch the helmet, and it would still be there, like it'd just be like.
He's like, you know,
over.
I always default to pink.
It's true. Pink or purple. That was the
Purple.
ones I went.
Those looked really good in this game. That's what I did.
The only visual glitch I had like that in the entire game was every time I entered the arena, I would get a bar at the bottom of the screen that would raise up about halfway and then just disappear.
Oh,
That seemed to happen every single time I entered in.
Weird. I like
Wait.
how all of our glitches we've suffered have been different. Because
Mhm.
like I had no visual glitches, but I had like.
Yeah.
every-
I only had one crash, and it was like it
I
was
never had a
while I was
crash.
playing in my second playthrough.
See, I had no crashes and I had no like things like Eric's little black mask thing. But what I did have was I had a few camera hiccups where suddenly the camera would kind of be moving and then it would jump and suddenly it would be like that kind of like under the ground camera angle. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
I
yeah.
could just that kind of thing. Just a few camera issues, but nothing
That was
major.
just a dev messing with you. They
Maybe.
still had access.
Yeah.
They were in there remote play.
Yeah. It just,
Could you imagine? That'd
You're
be
just like,
amazing.
he's doing too well. He hasn't died in a while.
and that is when I fall down a fucking cliff and I'm like, "Ah."
Yeah, what was that one world? I can't remember. And forgive me for not
Sargasso?
knowing the names of any of them. But I just know it as the one where I kept falling in the goddamn pits that I didn't see. I'd be walking forward, and all of a sudden there's a hole in the ground, and I just fall through and die.
Is that
And
the
I-
Mesa one where it was like the desert?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I just remember because there was all those craters in the ground, and you were supposed to jump over them.
Oh yeah.
And I just kept constantly like it would respawn me, and I would forget that it was right in front of me, and I'd walk into it again. That's not a game issue. That's a me issue.
Yeah, definitely.
I got to the point where I was using the boots so much that when like it was towards the end of the game and it was just easy things like jump on this thing, it'll bounce you up. Like I kept like boost leaping and I would over jump it and die like 3 times in a row. I'm like, can I just jump and not even double jump? Like Brittany, just press jump. I had
Yeah.
to walk myself through it. I was like, stop boosting.
Normal jumping becomes really hard when you have
Right?
rocket boots.
It's like I just want to rocket boost, wall run, and then like phantom glide my
Dash
way to
thing, yeah.
victory.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we pretty much touched upon everything. Wait,
There was
oh yeah.
just, I was gonna say Trudy was the only issue I had with an actual like
Oh,
thing in the
yeah.
game, like a
Oh,
mechanic
yeah.
not working. And that was just like at first when you go to ride her around, like I knew where a lot of these plants were, and I was like, cool, there's like ones that are up really high, so she's flying, so we just gotta grab those, right? But with Trudy, you gotta get things in stages. So you collect a certain amount, then he lets you know, oh, now you can do this with Trudy, now you can do that. So at first, I couldn't even land as her. I could tell
Yeah.
where to land, but then the button wouldn't appear for her to land, so I would just crash and die. It happened like 2 or 3 times before it let me do it, and I was
Fair.
just like, this is
Yeah.
embarrassing as a streamer.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then when she finally got fire, I was like, thank God, because I couldn't figure out. I was like, is there a button to grab? And they just haven't told me yet. And I kept flying
Yeah.
buildings, and I was just like, I hate this. But like, if there would have been a little more explanation there, we would have been fine. But other than that, like the rest of the game, I was so glad they had teleports back to your ship and stuff.
Yes.
You can tell like the QA testers, like who went through, like when they're like, well, when you have to go back to get this bolt later on, you're not gonna want to
Yeah.
retrace your steps all the way back, so put a fucking teleport there. Like,
Absolutely.
thank you,
Thank you,
QA and dev
devs.
team. Thank you for not making me kill myself.
Oh, QA, what a thankless job.
I thank them all the time. I sit through the credits for you.
I sat through the credits for this as well
Right?
because the game was
Credits were good.
amazing enough.
I don't
And then they had that song,
the credits were
which
great.
I don't want to ruin.
I know,
if you
right?
want.
I just said that. I was like, I don't want to spoil it, but the credits are amazing. Watch it all.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the game? Final thoughts? Wait, here we go. Final thoughts, and then a rating out of 5 gold bolts.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that there's anything more that I can really say that I haven't already like gushed about in the game. I mean, like, I won't go so far as to give it 5 bolts. I will give it 4.5 just because there are few little technical issues here and there, few things in the game that I wasn't really a big fan of. But I mean, like, I'm never going to find a game that I consider perfect, and this is as damn close as one is going to come.
Oh, we have a question
No,
on.
review.
Wait, Beefresher has a question on Twitch. Well, I'll get to them once you guys keep going. Sorry, I thought
Okay.
the question was gonna come faster. I went too
You're good.
fast. Sorry, Marcus, go.
I loved the game. This was such a visually beautiful game. And I was surprised at how beautiful it actually was. You know, like even upon seeing some of the released footage, I didn't expect it to actually look as good as it did when it popped up on my screen. And I have a 65-inch TV right now, and like it just looked so beautiful, and I just loved seeing. Like I kept getting closer because I'm like, there's no way that looks that good, and it does. It looked so good. So, I mean, just visually, this is incredible. Gameplay wise, this game was just so much fun, and it just instantly brought me back into that nostalgic world of platforming. And for all the tiniest of flaws this game has, I couldn't be happier with it. I think this is like a huge home run for Insomniac and for the PS5 going forward. I think this is a great game that gets people excited about what could possibly be happening in the future, because this is just the beginning.
Yeah, right.
We are just at the cusp of what is about to actually be possible on this system.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited.
You're like, the future
and
is great.
Yeah, the future is bright, and it is full of gold bolts, and I give this 5 gold bolts because I'm just very happy with it.
Woo!
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Brittany.
Awesome. So I feel like the Lady Gaga meme / GIF where she's like, talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique. Right? That is literally like how I feel. Like, you know, the one where she's wearing the sunglasses and she's like, that is how I feel about this game. I was blown away. I had just recently played the remaster, so I already like knew what to kind of expect out of Ratchet and Clank, and then this I felt like improved upon that game on every level. And I'll just say what I said when I tweeted when I finished the game, because I just wanted to scream about it. So this goes down as one of my favorite games. It's by far my favorite game that's quote for the PS5 era. I think that's like really like this was made for the PS5, and this is how we're going. It's got a gorgeous design, gorgeous animation, like just the hair, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic characters and story, which sometimes can fall flat in games like this. But the VO cast, who's already really good in these games, like
Yes.
nobody fell flat. Like, didn't matter if you're playing a side character, a random person in the background, like everybody was amazing. The alternate versions, it was fantastic. And the environments were stunning.
Mhm.
Sometimes I would turn when there were storms happening on the one planet, I just turned and I watched the lightning flash. I was just like, oh my god. Like, I would stop the game multiple times while streaming just to tell people, I'm like, you don't understand, but oh my god, just look at this. I was like, it's gorgeous, isn't it? I want to screenshot it. And I would just like move on. And then I'd fall and die. But like it was at least the sky looked amazing while I fell to my death.
Mhm, mhm. So
Yeah,
before
it's the reason to own a PS5.
Oh wait, out of how many bolts, Brittany?
Oh, 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
All right. Before I do my little thing, B Fresher's question was, is this game on PC? And unfortunately, this game is a PS5 exclusive. Sony has been releasing some of their games onto the PC platform in the most recent years, but they haven't announced if this game is going to go out there. And usually when they do these exclusive games, it's generally a number of years before they pop this on PC. I think Uncharted 4 is coming on PC just now, and that game's like 5 years old, I believe. Anyway, for myself, with Rift Apart, I think Insomniac definitely knocked this one out of the park. They're able to implement and improve upon so many graphical, sound, and gameplay elements that they introduced with their last release, Miles Morales, on the PS5 last year. But they were able to utilize the hardware even more. Like everything is sort of pitch perfect. Like the loading times, which are gone, no load times. The sound design and the 3D spatial sound design was incredible. The graphic fidelity, the frames per second, like everything was perfectly done for this game, and it was done with love. Not only that, they made you feel like you're playing a movie, a Pixar movie, like Brent said earlier. And you get that joy and warmth that you get with a Ratchet and Clank game, and you know, right now you sort of need that. Even Jeff Lemire, who wrote Sweet Tooth, said we need a little bit like lighter things, and that's why Sweet Tooth is a lot lighter. It's definitely a game for all ages. This being a sometimes talking about parenting stuff podcast. I played this with my 6-year-old and my 2-year-old, and they love this so much, like that sometimes we wouldn't even watch me play, and we just watch Brittany on her stream playing it. And we just, be like, oh, this is fun. I love this part. It's so much fun. I truly believe that this is a must-buy for anyone who owns a PS5, and it's the reason why you should buy a PS5. To be honest, this is truly next gen gaming, and you won't get this experience on anything else right now. 5 out of 5.
Yay!
5 out of 5. Bing, 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 bing.
Again.
Great, I lowered the curve.
Never felt so excited to review a game,
Yeah.
Like, I love feeling the energy of just being like, I want to tell everybody to play it.
The last time I felt this way was for Ghost of Tsushima. Like, I felt that excited about this game that I just had to tell everyone to play it.
I was gonna say I felt that way about Last of Us Part 2, but I also was like, it will destroy you.
I know a lot of people that wouldn't like that.
God.
That's why.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't tell everybody you have to play it. I was just like, if you love the first one, prepare to be hurt again.
All I know is that after 3 years of patiently waiting for Biomutant to come out, like, thank God for this game.
Yeah.
Just it that sorry, but it just washed that taste out of my mouth of that disappointment. But thank God, like, because Ratchet and Clank's one of those series that I'm never like, I'm not one of those people that's like, I can't wait for the next one. Like, it's going to be so amazing and everything like that. But it's one that I'll always play when it comes out. Yeah. And I will sit down and I will absolutely love every second of it. And this is one of those games that just because of the quality of it and where we're going with video games is going to stay with me forever. Like, this is going to be one of those games that I always remember as like, this is a milestone game. Like, this is where we made a turning point.
Yes, exactly.
This is where we made our stand.
Right here, no further.
It wasn't Milestone Morales. It was the next one.
Well, yeah. I just think of like kind of on what Brent said. Like, thank God this game came. Like, Eric, we played what was it? Phoenix Rising.
Oh, I love that game.
It was a great game. It was so good. And I was like, yeah, I wanted something bright and more colorful and fun and everything. But that game had flaws. It was great. It was a fun game. It was a lot of fun. Hilarious. The humor is good, but it had its flaws. It was kind of repetitive. Yep. Like there was a lot of things that were kind of like, wouldn't it be better?
Game, right?
And it did. Yes, it absolutely did. This was finally like what I really wanted it to be. And this was just so much better. This was just like, this was that next gen game to start us off. And you know what? I feel like this is still one of those kind of games that in 10 years from now, we can call this one back and be like, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is still one of the best. Like, I feel like it's going to like stick around.
Yeah, for sure. Again, big shout out to PlayStation Canada and Insomniac Games for providing us a copy of the game to review. We super appreciate it. We loved reviewing this game. Obviously, we had gushing reviews for this. I would also like to thank Britt and Brent for coming on the show. I had a hard time saying those names right after each other. Brett and Brent.
Yeah, sometimes I thought you were talking to me, and then I realized I was talking over him. So I was like, "Oh, our names are too close."
So I should just say Brittany. Damn.
You're right.
Oh, next
Yeah,
time.
it's okay.
Next time. So.
This time I'll just stay down here.
Oh. Well, Brittany,
No.
let's go with you. Where can we find you online if you have stuff online? I know you have stuff online. Where can we find you?
I was gonna say you can, if you like watching people stream games, you can follow me on twitch.tv/vocaltomes. All of my social media handles are vocaltomes. Tomes is my last name, vocal because I am pursuing a VO career. So yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you can find me. I'm sure you can Google. I don't know. And I also do the podcast Everything is Permitted, which is like film, gaming, pop culture, and then a strange new pod, which is Star Trek themed, and I do that with Eric. So you can just follow either of those on social media or check those out as well on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, things like that.
Hey, Britt.
Yeah.
Britt.
Oh, yeah.
Brittany.
Yeah.
Where can we find you on Tuesdays?
Oh yeah. Sorry. And
it's
on Tuesdays, I'm on Geeks with Kids for. It's funny because like literally when I'm streaming, I say everything I do and I include the D&D, and then I like forgot right now because my
'Cause I'm
brain was
here?
like, podcast. What do I do? Yeah. Because I'm like, Eric knows what I do.
I know.
But yeah, I also do our weekly D&D campaign stream, which is on Geeks with Kids. So if you go to twitch.tv/geekswithkids or
Where you are now, maybe.
look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
We do a D&D campaign, and it's amazing. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
we just recently started putting it on YouTube and in podcast form. So if you haven't heard it, we had a pre-campaign, like sort of a prologue, but we hit a certain point in the campaign where like, you know what? I think this is the time. This is the time when we should start releasing it. Plus a bunch of people were like, you know what? I'd really like to watch your game, but it's on Tuesday nights.
Exactly.
Tuesday nights. I'm like, that's
They're
fair.
like, where can I find it? And I was like, well, we'll YouTube.
We will put it somewhere.
It's good, so that way my puns will be solidified for all of eternity.
It's true. We need more puns in our
I
lives.
lost a lot of good ones. I was like, I thought we were recording the whole time.
Now no
Lots of
pun will
puns.
be wasted. All right,
Yes.
Brent.
Yes.
Where
With
can we
the
find
end.
you? At the end. What do you do? Yeah, where are you? Are you online?
I not really.
No.
I try to I'm still trying to stay off the grid as much as possible.
We're gonna have to change that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to come.
No,
over here more.
I'm no. So now that I have the cameras and I officially got the HD camera for the PS5 today as well, I'm gonna try my hand at streaming and start doing some of that. So you can find me on Twitch at Raven37. Other than that, the only other like real social media stuff that I have is to promote my business, home renovation company. So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Comfort Care Reno.
Very nice. Marcus, I'd ask you where you are, but I have all your info in whenever we stream, so people can
I'm
find
there.
those info down there.
I'm here.
You're here.
Yeah.
You're there. You're everywhere.
I'm all over
I'm
the place.
here, I'm queer, my puns will make you shed a tear.
I don't know. I love your the tears
That'll
of
win them
laughter.
over.
There you go. Not
Yeah, that's
tears
what I
of
mean.
sadness. So
Each their own,
Everybody needs some good puns in their lives.
right?
It's true. Brent,
Yeah.
was that Raven 37 just one word?
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay.
it might change. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the username I actually wanted, so it might change in
I just
time.
followed you on Twitch.
Nice.
Oh,
It's also in the chat, so you can follow him now.
Woo-hoo.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. So thank you guys for coming. I know. Me and Brent have been playing It Takes Two on the PS5, so I think we're gonna jump back into those eventually. Now that we've platinumed this game,
Yeah.
we gotta do that. And I do want to do a review of Returnal because that game is awesome and painful all at the same time.
Which and I'm going to probably jump right into it as soon as we get off here.
Nice. I'm gonna try out
Oh,
that
okay.
new Final Fantasy demo that was released for E3. It finally
Oh, I
started.
haven't-
Apparently, it started working now. So
Never mind, I forgot
Oh my
about that.
gosh. Yeah, right?
I need
It's
some.
downloaded and ready to go. I forgot about it.
They have that normcore stuff now, that aesthetic of t-shirt and jeans. So people are like, "Oh my
Oh.
god, they're swords and they're
I
wearing
gotta
jeans and
kill
t-shirts."
chaos.
Exactly.
And you're
All I
like,
heard is-
are you the warrior of light?
All I know is
Hope you get
somebody equated it to this is the Dark Souls version of Final Fantasy, and as soon as you say Dark Souls, you have me. Like I'm in.
Oh, Dark Souls makes me.
He's
pain-
dark souled on it.
Oh,
Good night, everyone.
Well, Marcus, Brent, Britt, It has been a pleasure jumping through rifts with you online to talk about this amazing game. Thank you all out there for listening to us on Twitch Live, or if you're catching us on YouTube or on a podcast platform. Thank you. We love having you here. We love talking about all this stuff. We love talking about games, videos. We're everywhere. Just come back. We will talk about anything you want. Just let us know. All that info is in the post credits. Again, thank you all for coming. Thank you guys for listening. Have a great one, and goodbye.
Podcast at geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidscn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.